You need to add the music, Pat.
I will add the music. I'm still recording the music. Oh, welcome to the Foxhole tonight. Yeah, some shit dropped today. I think we're going to want to discuss by a name, Jeffrey Epstein. You may know him, or may know of him, the departed Jeffrey Epstein. We're also going to discuss tonight what's going on with the world. We got all these terrorist attacks with Islam, and you got some people think the Jews are behind the Islam, but behind the Jews is somebody else, and lizard people. And we're going to go on to that as well. I would like to introduce my panel tonight. Below me, I have Uncle Mike. And nothing needs to be said. And to my left, I got my co-host, Sly Fox.
Oh, man. What a fucking day, guys. What a fucking day.
Well, Sly Fox, go ahead and drop that beautiful beam footage on us.
Man, so I don't know if you guys saw my live stream earlier. I rewatched it. I don't like watching myself. I don't like looking at myself. But I rewatched that live stream, and I'm looking at the look of excitement on my fucking face. Dude, it is unprecedented, the amount of files that they dropped today. Now, if you go to justice.gov/Epstein, you can find what we're talking about. You can look while we're talking about it and kind of play along. But for some background, a lot of people watched me on Talking Stit. I went into a lot of the Epstein stuff and how, it wasn't always, just teenage girls walking around, stuff like that, but it, after reading some of these, because I made it through for the last 4 hours, I've spent going through these files that dropped today. And a lot of the stuff that's there is exactly what we thought it was, with the kinds of things that they were doing and the kind of parties that they were having, the way they would procure these girls and stuff like that. It's both everything that we thought it was and worse.
So, what was in the FOIA docs? You said you mentioned going through the FOIA documentation first. What information was released in those?
So in the FOIA request, under FBI, all the FBI documents are gone. And those FOIA requests show that the results of those inquiries, and it shows each individual file that was deleted. And it even says in there deleted. If you go through my page, I posted a thing talking about it. There's a screenshot of all the different file names. Now, each one of those files, those PDF files, is about 8-10 pages of hundreds of files that were deleted. Now, there is more than 10 of these folders that have these PDF files of all these pages of documents that were deleted from these FBI reports. Now, what I think is funny is that those reports stem from 2004 to 2008 to 2012 to all the time frame of which he was going to be not indicted for his crimes. He had a federal plea to where he was not going to be indicted federally for anything he did in the early 2000s.
He got immunity for all that?
He got immunity for it. There was a non the fuck was it called? Like basically just a deal. Like you're not going to get tried and charged for these things at the federal level. It's basically okay for you at the federal level to do XYZ because XYZ, right?
Did that cover his clients?
It didn't, but here's the funny thing. So a lot of these court documents, because the way I go through them, because I've been doing this for a very long time, the way I go through them is you start at the first sheet that gives you all the basic information. You go halfway down, you go to the middle. The middle gives you an idea of about how far into the case you are. And then you go to the end and you kind of fill in the blanks there. So it's an easier way to do that than it is to just go through each individual document. At least it'll give you like a range of what you're looking for. But what I found is that Alan Dershowitz is directly responsible for keeping him out of prison for so long.
And who exactly is Alan Dershowitz?
Alan Dershowitz, for those who don't know and those of you playing at home, was one of the most famous lawyers that was on the O.J. Simpson trial.
Ah.
And he was also really good friends with Epstein. So what I found was that when these girls would testify as the Jane Does and whatever, he would discredit them. And I didn't put two and two together at first. So when I first saw that in some of these case files and some of the court documents, there's pictures of like screenshots of people's MySpace pages. Now, when you look at the information from these MySpace pages, they're from the girls. They're from the girls that are putting these complaints against him, right? Now, I was like, why is this entered as court evidence? Why is this exhibit C, D, and E? You know what I mean? Well, it turns out that Dershowitz would interview these girls before they were able to, like, when they would start to get, they've done enough massages, they're making $1,000 the time they come, whatever. He would have an interview with them, figure out, oh, what's your family life like? This and the third, find out shit about them. Most of the time, they're poor as fuck. And they would use that against them to keep coming and make them keep coming and use, oh, well, your mom's not doing too good, isn't she? Oh, your grandmother's in the hospital, right? They would use your history against you, right? So Dershowitz, being the tool here, would learn these things about them. Now, when it came to attacking their character, he would cite their MySpace pages that talk about they smoke, they drink, they do drugs, they're promiscuous, they're whatever the case may be, to kind of discredit them. Like, well, this girl was a whore anyway. She was doing drugs anyway. So what's the difference here? And that to me is fucking insane.
Yeah, paints them out to be prostitutes before. Yeah.
It's standard defamation, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they would have this stuff prepared beforehand. Dershowitz was preparing these things and getting it together just in case any one of them would say something. So that's a revelation, in my opinion. That's a revelation right there. Just how much work Dershowitz put in. And this is just me putting together from the random cases that I went through today. And it's a pattern.
Now, a question I got to is, a lot of people think Epstein is the be-all, end-all. Like, it stops with him. And it was there any information, because I was looking at something earlier that was a little bit unrelated, information alleging anybody above Epstein that was actually controlling him or things like that? Because I want to get into kind of the, if there's a conspiracy, it's not just him. There's a bigger evil.
So with these, if you go through the section that says court documents, you'll see all the different lawsuits.
By the way, I have the website loaded up if you want to have anything on the screen.
Okay. If you go through the court document stuff, you'll see, the state versus so-and-so, Jane Doe 1, 2, 3, 4 versus so-and-so. But if you note, after Epstein had died, they sued the lawyers. They sued the people that were responsible for his estate. All right. Now, after they tried to do that and they tried to sue the people responsible for the estate, there was an Epstein Victims Fund that was set up in 2020, in January of 2020, right? So they set that up, and in order to apply for those funds, you had to prove it, all this stuff, whatever. But in accepting those funds, you also removed yourself from any further litigation. You removed yourself from any kind of funding or anything. You get that money, you use that money, and you pay for your lawyer out of that money and all that stuff, whatever. You can't say shit about it after that. You can't bring it up, write books about it, nothing like that, right?
Very similar to workman's comp. If you accept workman's comp, you basically revoke your right to sue your employer.
Yeah. So one of these women put up a fight about it. She basically was like, okay, I want to see his deal. I want to see the deal that he had with the federal government about why he is not getting prosecuted for abusing me and the other women that we are getting paid out for. You're admitting fault, that you're admitting you did this. You're admitting that this actually happened. Why can't we see his plea agreement? And there is easily a couple hundred pages worth of back and forth and legalese and dragging their feet and pushing it off and citing these extremely obscure law terms and stuff like that. That's just the guy had money. He had money for good fucking lawyers. Dershowitz is a piece of shit, but he's a good Jew lawyer. I'll tell you that. But it's insane to me just how deeply thorough all of this was. Now, to answer your question, I don't think there was anybody above Epstein, and even if there was, we're not going to see any of that in this paperwork. I can guarantee you I'm not going to find one inch of information about Mossad or anybody else in the Middle East. Mostly what I've seen is they talk about his procurement of girls from Eastern Europe, from France, like I've stated before. when I went through the Customs and Border Patrol file that they have, you could go through the flight records from international flights that note the passengers, their birthday, their age, male or female. Right.
Let's go into those flight records.
It also states their and also states their country of origin. Funnily enough, on most of those records from the Customs and Border Patrol, you don't see the names except for Jeffrey Epstein's. Some of them you don't see the birthdays. Some of them the country of origin is censored, but you do see male, female. It's almost always 3 men and a female. It's almost always 2 men and a female. Sometimes it's 4 men going and coming back with 1 female. But you don't ever see identifying information.
I am curious about one thing. How many, and I haven't had time to pour over any of this as much as you have, or at least at all. But I'm curious to satisfy my own suspicions. How many of those people were from Ukraine?
Well, that's the thing. They had talked about how Eastern Europe was the hub for a lot of his activity, and I don't know if a lot of people know this or not, but Ukraine is the gateway in Europe for sex trafficking.
Do we have any information I can bring up, like some data on that?
I don't, because everything you see nowadays has been whitewashed because of the whole Ukraine versus Russia thing, which is like the same thing as you don't see anything about the neo-Nazi problem in Ukraine or the corruption problem in Ukraine post-Russian invasion, which is odd. But I mean, you consider the fact that
in Ukraine has been going on for a long fucking time.
Oh, yeah.
It's been kind of like a distant peripheral.
Like, don't forget that Biden got his son elected to the head of a fucking gas company in the Ukraine, like, and
then threatened to withhold financial aid to the country of Ukraine in a quid pro quo for them to stop the investigation. Yes, that's also a fact.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have these baseline facts that we already know there's corruption running rampant. We know that sex trafficking is run rampant. We have Epstein, the facilitator and the owner of all of this. Now, in a lot of these interviews that I've read today, they were talking about the inner workings of it, and this shit goes deep, man. Like, he did not keep a solid staff; it was a revolving fucking door, and a lot of his administrative staff. Well, I mean, a lot of the administrative staff. It's kind of funny because there's also a lot of evidence with like handwritten notes and stuff like that, and like calling cards. Like somebody calls, I wrote this note. You know, here's the message. Whatever the fuck. A lot of it's different handwriting and different handwriting styles, and some of it looks, you can very blatantly feminine, but young feminine, like loopy or handwriting loopy, or it looks like a teenager's
bubbly handwriting. Yeah,
it's bubbly handwriting. It's odd. It's odd. It's creepy in a way, knowing what we know.
Well, they've had a history of doing that, and they just used it recently with the fucking Charlie Kirk murder. So. Yeah, there's no low or
we
bullshit.
Still got shit coming out about that, man. And every bit of it's fucking convoluted as hell.
Joke as well.
Yeah,
but this is definitely not the Charlie Kirk show tonight. So, rip Charlie.
No, another night, definitely.
Yeah. So I want to get to those flight logs you were talking about, because I've looked through those flight logs. The problem is I'm looking for names that I know, things like that. People they say, how do I phrase this? People. These are the people that they want to know, like the American citizens. They think, actors and Hollywood and things like that. And I'm not seeing any of those names in the flight log, so it's harder to stay interested in actually.
Well, you also have to realize that those flight logs that we have, the ones that we have that have been uncensored since 2019, are old as fuck, and it's only 2.
The only ones I've seen.
Yeah, it's only 2 of them.
Right, I've seen those.
Yeah, so
I didn't understand, like, who are these people? There were a couple names that I didn't understand, and government things like that, but most of them just were random fucking people. It seemed random rich people.
Well, they're random to us, but if you're like in the financial sector or whatever, like they're names that would be recognizable. And I don't know, man.
Ask Peter Zihan about those fucking names.
It's unnerving. It's unnerving that we have all this information and we've still got no arrests. It's unnerving to me. And from seeing these court documents and from seeing what they have released, it looks like Florida made the most headway. Florida made the most big stink about it. But once the federal government got involved, it all got shut down very fucking quickly.
Well, and Florida is like the champion of Republican states right now, too. So if something's going to happen in that manner, you probably should expect it from Florida, because Texas is folded.
Yeah, Texas is folded, but Florida isn't going anywhere except for I don't know. Ted Cruz is a piece of shit. He's a fucking shill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
So
Big
with
time.
these Epstein files, is there anything in there that would directly implicate some of these people that, the people looking for people type of thing, the big stars and things like that? Is there any direct implications, or is everything kind of snaky and redacted, or things like, is this,
well, they censor a lot of names, but like the first case that you'll read is the first one in the court documents. She's by a name. She's from South Africa. She was an aspiring model. She talks about being with a very well-known comedian and a very well-known lawyer and stuff like that. They try to stay away from names, but Chris Tucker's been named in a few of these as well.
Yeah, I've seen his name come up quite a few times.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny to me though, because it's like usually he's always been a super Christian person, and he's always alluded to that fact that his religion's the most important thing to him. And so it's kind of funny to me just to see just another one of them hiding behind it.
Yeah.
But as for like,
we can put that, man.
well, as for like concrete stuff, I mean, my governor, his brother was named in one as well. But
yeah, J.D. Pritzker's brother was definitely involved in that shit. I saw
so.
that.
But what I found really interesting was the cases that were the United States government versus whoever. So I even downloaded it because there's just so much that goes to it. So the U.S. government filed a lawsuit. The U.S. government of the Canary Islands filed a federal lawsuit against J.P. Morgan and Associates, the bank itself.
How'd that go?
Well, the paperwork is so long that I didn't get to finish it. But I mean, they basically outlined the fact that you people at this bank could very fucking blatantly see that there was some kind of crime going on, and now you've been complicit.
You people
at the bank, J.P. Morgan and Associates, the bank itself in the Canary Islands, because what was happening was when you take out more than $6,000 in cash, they have to flag you.
Yeah,
and if you keep doing it, they have to flag you. There was upwards of a point where he was withdrawing $700,000 in cash a year.
So he might have wanted to buy a couple Lambos or something, get off his dick.
Well, given all the other information that we know too, that was all money that he was using to buy women, pay them off after the fact, pay off police, pay off federal enforcement officers, pay off whoever he needed to.
So here's my question.
If he shows up on flight logs, man, I guess that explains his fucking costs, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And something you always have to come back to, in my opinion, is follow the money. If you follow the money from this, where does the money come from? Like, is this just Jeffrey Epstein's lifetime earnings that he's got, rat hole in the bank, or is this being
so what he was doing? Because they also cited emails in there, so he was also insider trading, and he was insider trading with people from J.P. Morgan, and so a lot of the money that he was holding for people, he would double, triple, whatever in that method, or I don't think people understand that there's just how much money is involved with Epstein. His history, if you really want to know who Epstein was, the person, and you really want to know how he got to where he was, just the facts, no speculation, the pure evidence of who Jeffrey Epstein was and how he got to where he was, you have to listen to Mike Benz on Tucker Carlson. Mike Benz is a better expert than me even, and he did the work and did the research to figure out who this motherfucker was. Now, what I find funny,
and he has went. It looks like he is a Jewish apologist nowadays. I saw him defending them not too long ago in his show.
Who?
Tucker Carlson. Yeah.
I didn't see him defend Jews.
Yeah, your heroes went the other direction, buddy. He took the money.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Is that why Turning Point USA is all pro-Israel now?
Turning Point. He's part of Turning Point. I mean,
he's not part of Turning Point.
He's not part of Turning Point, but he didn't speak at Charlie Kirk's funeral and have a big sit down with him for nothing.
Yeah, but he's not. I don't think he's taking that Jew money. He was just in Qatar last week talking to their prime minister.
Yeah, Tucker Carlson. We'll get to that. I have no proof that has happened yet, but it is likely happened because that's how things work nowadays. You know, once the check is
Some
offered-
people can't be bought. Some people can't be bought. He got fired from fucking Fox and made a killing with his own network. He did the same thing Alex Jones did, and it fucking worked.
Cover story.
Yeah, it's a hell of a cover for action, though.
Especially when his father was a CIA member and he applied to be in the CIA. I'm firmly believe that Tucker is a dark asset for the CIA.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, I mean, if you look at Alex Jones, like back when InfoWars and Prison Planet first fucking started, he was a hell of a lot more fucking brazen.
Based.
Yeah. He's not exactly like breaking into Bahamian Grove these days. Yeah. And he had to go through that whole rigmarole of fucking being what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? Pretty much they just discredited him, and he went fucking nuts. And Tucker Carlson has kind of gone the same path. Now, how I think that they get such a large base and a large following is because they do say a lot of truthful shit. But
that's
it's
what you
always
have to do. If you're going to be controlled opposition, you have to give like 80% truth and then 20% lies.
I think controlled opposition has been evolved today.
Yeah.
So to where they have to start talking about like the obvious shit, the elephant in the room that everybody's fucking denying. Let's start addressing that and then slowly dripping in the narrative like trace amounts.
So by that logic, then I'm gonna sit there and say that Nick Fuentes is a Jewish plant.
Yes, he is. Nick Fuentes. I'm glad you said that because that was on the tip of my fucking tongue. Nick Fuentes is the biggest psyop we have going on in America right now, in my opinion.
Nick Fuentes has the most punchable face beside Tucker Carlson.
I mean, he is directly fanning every single fire that we have right now.
Yeah.
From what? And the only thing he got famous for is a tweet from his freshman year that Ben Shapiro saw. That's why this kid. No, it was about the Jews.
He had to fill a void, man. That's what it was.
What void was that?
We weren't turning this into a Charlie Kirk show, bro.
No, but I don't think it needs to go into a Charlie Kirk show. I'm just saying, what void did Nick Fuentes fill in the sphere? I mean, just absolute insanity, in my opinion.
Well, he didn't because of the fact that you saw this motherfucker almost the same week that Charlie Kirk dies. You see Nick Fuentes get all this news time and airtime and all this shit talking about him and all these things. That's not for show. That's the molding America's point of view. If the news says somebody is the next big thing, they are going to be, because people are going to think that they are.
Yeah.
Operation Mockingbird.
Just going on how fucking cocky and arrogant Nick Fuentes is, if he's genuinely like that as a person, he's an easily manipulated narcissist. So
talk amongst yourself.
He's a child.
I gotta fix something.
He's a fucking child, dude. He's not even. He's got no. The other reason, and that's my other fucking problem. Most of these people we are expected to respect their opinion or even see it as somewhat valid. I fucking can't. You don't have the life experience, bud. Sorry, you went from living with mommy and daddy to mommy and daddy paying you through college to paying for where you live. You've got no nigga. When you've been hungry? When's the last time you were starving? Shut the fuck up and sit down. You know what I mean?
That's it. Yep. If you've never wondered where the fuck your next meal is coming from or what you have to do to get it,
yeah, I can't respect your opinion.
I'm not interested in your fucking opinion, dude.
Period.
Yeah.
If you've got no skin in the game, you know what I mean? I don't respect your fucking opinion. Like that one guy we were jumping on with the what's that end stage capitalism, whatever, complaining about I overdrafted and da da da. You overdrafted once, dude. Shut the fuck up. Try living paycheck to paycheck, and then holler at me when you got some real problems. Fuck you.
Yeah. Or trying to budget in your overdraft fees.
Yeah.
with your fucking grocery bill.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that kind of shit, man, is I have such a hard time putting any credence to these fucking mouthpieces that just pop off all the goddamn time willy-nilly whenever a camera's put in their fucking face. I think it's some sort of like what is it? What was that? Pavlonian? The dude
Pavlov's
that
dog. Yeah, Pavlov.
Right, yeah, Pavlov's dog. You put a camera in these fucking people's faces, and all of a sudden they get all astute and waving their fucking finger and making a goddamn point that's just inflammatory when all you got to do is just state the fucking facts.
I mean, that's the bitch of it. And with this Epstein thing, I'm going to get irritated very quickly because you're going to have all these influencers half reading shit and half and without having any other information whatsoever because they don't know any better. They haven't been doing this shit as long as people like I have fucking been.
Yeah.
I called it in 2019 after he got arrested. I said he is not going to make it out of that jail cell. He is not going to make it to court. There is too much shit going on that he has people. He's got shit on everybody. They're not going to let him get to the courtroom.
No,
and they didn't.
Still, I mean,
okay, so there are like one or two things, man. Either he actually did fucking like hang himself, or he was escorted out and there was a body double.
That I could see, but I think he's either dead or the body double. He didn't hang him fucking himself.
Well, the injuries themselves don't show that he hung himself. You don't snap your neck from a short hanging like that. That's a pressure hanging.
Yeah.
The fact that those two bones were broken, his neck was fucking snapped.
But that could have been a fucking autopsy report from somebody who fucking that's a diver body, so to speak.
Well, the first report said that he hung himself, but then when they did a redo on it, they were like, "Yeah, that's not what happened here. These are some broken clavicles, bud."
Well, let's put it this way, too. They don't have to prove shit to us because we have no power to make them prove anything. So, no, you're missing what I'm saying. If they want to come out and say Jeffrey Epstein fell down a hole in prison and broke both of his legs and got eaten by an alligator, how are we supposed to prove different? Because all we have is we have the autopsy reports, which could have been falsified. We have this, that, and the other that all comes from official police sourcing and government sourcing. There's no point where we can walk in somewhere and be like, okay, well, I guess his legs are broken. He's got a bunch of teeth in his legs. I guess this pans out. Like, same thing with the Epstein Files. I know it's a kind of what ifism, but I don't think there's any onus on the government or the people to actually put out real information concerning this stuff because they know we have no way to actually confirm it.
Yeah, but at the same time, they're losing the trust of the people, and once you've lost the trust of the people, what the fuck else are you going to do except for clamp down harder? And what I think is
running a business, man, is it cheaper to keep the problem or fix the fucking problem?
It's cheaper to keep the problem.
Yeah,
right. So it's cheaper to put out this fucking file dump that's how many years down the fucking road?
Yeah,
they've had all this time to doctor and redact and carefully pour over and make sure that they give us just enough to make us fucking really get back into it. That's what I'm worried about.
But that's the thing, though. The stuff that they've given us, the stuff that's, and I've said this in one of my posts earlier, the stuff that is censored is almost just as telling as if it wasn't.
Right, but
to be fair, I haven't seen it yet.
I'd love to hear those fucking names.
I would love to hear those names too, but the sad fact remains: we're not going to hear anything about the clients. We're not going to hear shit about it. What I'm more concerned about is our government's complacency in the fact. My concern is that the FBI was allowing it to fucking happen, and when these victims confronted the FBI, they told them, "Shut the fuck up, or you're not getting paid." Well, that's fucking ridiculous.
This goes back to what I was talking about in a previous show, or maybe just a previous conversation with you that was talking about, well, yes, the FBI exists to, search crimes and hunt down national criminals. But what's to say that the CIA isn't telling them to stand down? Because they sure didn't stop shit in the Charlie Kirk shooting that they knew was going on. They sure didn't stop shit in the Trump assassination attempt.
Well, here's I'll raise you. You know why I think that is, and why I don't think that is in the same sentence. I do and don't believe that is after listening to the whole 9/11 thing from Tucker Carlson. The interagency communication is fucking trash, and certain agencies are not allowed to talk to each other. Certain people that are in charge of this, if they're say, "Hey, no, don't give them that information. We'll give it to them when it's ready."
But I'm saying that incompetence or that lack of communication
it's over communication. It's not incompetence. 9/11 didn't happen because of incompetence. We fucking knew about it a long time before. These motherfuckers were here using their own real goddamn names. They were in the phone book, all right, for a year. All right. No, fuck that shit.
No. On 9/11, didn't we tell our planes to exit the area? Our fighter jets?
Did they have a stand down order?
We had fighter jet drills going on while 9/11 happened.
Yeah, they were out of the area. They had
NORAD on every angle was distracted.
Yeah, that's not lack of
He was running
communication.
drills.
That's intent.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's over communication. It's not incompetency. The government, when it comes to stuff like this, isn't incompetent. They're overly competent. This is insanity.
It's so overt, it's covert.
Covert.
Period.
Yeah.
And if you question it, you're a fucking kook.
Skies is another dude. Sorry. Tropic Thunder, I love it.
This whole fucking thing is just irritating me, and I get angry and angrier the more that I fucking read, because they could have done something. They could have stopped. We could have stopped this with the first time he got popped in the 2000s.
Why do you think we
back to what I was saying? They didn't want to stop him. This is their thing, you know.
Yeah, the FBI was complacent in it, which is why in those FOIA requests they have hundreds and hundreds of documents that were deleted. Not just that you can't have them because of FOIA you can't have them. No, they were fucking deleted. They show each line of data as deleted.
Well, I was talking to Mike before the show, and I like before this dump came, this one that we're talking about today, I was 100% convinced that the transition between the Biden administration and the Trump administration, that the Democrats or the new, once they found out what was in it, they burned the entire thing. Like, there were no documentations anymore. There was nothing to look at. So this is just a surprise to me to actually be something. Like, I figured that shit was, like I was saying, I called it plutonium. You can't touch it. Nobody can touch it.
I wouldn't say that every file got destroyed. I would say that there's a remnant, there's a record, teeny tiny fucking somewhere.
The best.
And the only time that you're gonna see that file is if you are on a necessary, need to know, eyes only, you're in a skiff kind of scenario.
Do you remember the pictures that went around of that party that Maxwell hosted where they were eating cake, that the cake was built like human bodies?
Yeah.
Dude, Will Ferrell was in there. Denzel Washington was not in there. Chris Tucker was in there. Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly. There were actors.
Some of those though, you gotta take those with a grain of salt. There was a lot of fakes that were going around for a while. That might have been one of them.
I'm not saying that it wasn't. I'm just trying to bring up the fact that these people are evil.
Well, I mean,
that's a given. But Ghislaine Maxwell herself was considered a socialite because of who her father was, from Maxwell Publishing, who was also a ranking member of Mossad.
Well, let's go into that for a little bit, because I think we've covered this Epstein thing pretty well until we get some more information to have another show about it. One of the main topics tonight was all the invasions in the world. Like, Europe has been invaded by Islam. It's just a fact at this point. They just did it without firing a shot. They're working on America. And then you got the other side of this where Islam is trying to attack Israel, and they're shooting, Jews across the planet now. And Sly really has an interesting theory behind all of this that we discussed before the show. But I would, instead of trying to steelman his position right now, I'll just have him explain his position overall.
So I think that it's all connected. As much as we can sit there and joke around, oh, it's the Jews, it's whatever, we were just talking about controlled opposition. Now, if you're the Jewish people and you've had this political climate over the last 6 months to a year where you're being shit on publicly and anti-Semitism is at all-time high and it's being allowed in public and all this stuff, whatever, what are you going to do? You're going to do what you're going to do to get sympathy. You're going to do what you're going to do to make yourselves the victims again, which is what this Australian attack was. You've got so many coincidences that it's just mind-boggling how all these things just happen all at the same time. It's mind-boggling to me how the IDF has their hands in almost every one of these attacks.
To a point. I think something that has to go along with that, though, is Muslims have been killing Jews for a long, long time, and this is nothing different.
But these guys were IDF, so how do you explain that? This is Jews killing Jews?
IDF.
One of them was. He was IDF for a long time, too.
He was sworn they were from Pakistan.
Nope.
We'll have to check that information later. So I made a joke before the show with Sly that I was kind of like, so it's Aleister Crowley that influenced the Jews to
doing to me,
work on taking over the world, while at the same time the Roman Catholic Church created Islam for an eternal entity. Then the Jews turn around and use Islam against themselves and then take them into America as well. It's a very convoluted plot, but
it's not though, because we were just talking about how Europe is being invaded by Islam. How is that facilitated? By their politicians, by these politicians' policies and making policies. Now, who are these politicians making these policies? Each one of them is a Jew. Each one of them has dual citizenship, or their early life was started in Israel. One of the two. Now, I find that kind of odd.
Yep. Go ahead, Mike.
I was just agreeing. Yeah, he's not wrong.
Oh no, he's not wrong at all.
Yeah.
I'm just my biggest problem with the whole theory is so Israel, and I know Sly, you're going to bark back at me about this, but Israel doesn't have any allies in the world. The only ally that I can see, an active ally that'll come to their rescue, is the United States of America. We'll call them an ally for now.
Well, do you want to know why that is?
Not yet. Not yet. So what purpose would Israel have for destabilizing their only ally that comes to their rescue by sending Islam over here? Because at this point, it's almost like, and to any Muslims that might be watching, I'm not trying to say you're stupid, but there's a lot of stupidity going on because of the cousin marriage and all this kind of thing. You get degeneracy through your generations. The average IQ in certain parts of the world that are all Muslim inhabited in the Middle East are somewhere between 75 and 90 IQ. So it seems like this would be the perfect people to actually play and turn into your personal, attack dogs.
I mean, what is it doing but making us argue again amongst each other? I mean, a divided America is the easiest thing to control. You just have us pointing each other's fingers at each other. The torch guys are coming for your pitchforks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you think it's okay now that England has to obey Sharia law now because 90% of the fucking government is Muslim?
They don't have to obey Sharia law unless you're a fucking Muslim.
No, that's not true, Kurt, because who has the power?
Okay.
It's the force.
Sharia law is directly an enforcement if you're a fucking Muslim. If you are not a Muslim, Sharia law has nothing to fucking do with you.
What happens when you don't convert to Islam?
Nothing. You're in a free country.
They fucking kill you, you idiot.
It's okay. So you tell when they start beheading people and putting them on pikes in front of Buckingham Palace, let me fucking know.
I will definitely
let me fucking know because it's not going to happen. Sorry, it's not going to happen.
$20 on it.
You still owe me like 110 for calling me my real name, motherfucker.
I don't even know your name.
That's like twice now. But no, England's not far from it because they have the Islamic prayer playing every day.
5 in the morning.
Yeah, it's called the Hajj. A little bit of culture, guys. It's called the Hajj.
Respectful to people that aren't in your religion.
So church bells, where did all the church bells go?
Well,
you know why you don't hear church bells anymore? Because it disrupts the reptilians' ability to camouflage themselves.
It's also got supposedly certain bell tones have a really good healing properties as far as like the Hertz wave that they send out. So they decided to nix all the church bells. It's really weird, in fact. But you're allowed to go at 5 in the fucking morning.
I don't mind it.
No, I would climb a fucking bell tower right now and stab that speaker with a fucking screwdriver. I will. I'll just start shanking the fucking 5 o'clock in the morning. Get the fuck out of here, dude. I'm trying to sleep. All right.
But what's really funny to me though is that you have radical Islam, which stems from all the problems that we've talked about, whatever. But there's no radical Judaism. Because it's all radical. They see themselves as the golden chosen people, and the rest of us are just fucking goyim.
That's fair. Yeah, but read the Quran. It is.
Jews are a little bit more like underhanded, where Islam they have their sneaky agenda with lying to everybody who isn't Muslim. That's and all
another, that. Taqiyya, the principle of Islam.
Yeah. Thank you.
You can lie to anybody as long as it advances your Islamic narrative.
But I will say this, out of all 3 of the Abrahamic religions, the only one that is part of their doctrine to not deceive are the Christians.
Thank you. I appreciate
that.
Yeah. That's a hard pill to fucking swallow, man.
Unless you're a priest, then you can deceive everybody all you want.
Pagans. We've talked about this. Catholics are not.
Corruption takes the hearts of many men, right? But if you were gonna to just boil it down between all three of the fucking main problems, Christianity is the only one that says it's a sin to fucking lie.
And that makes it very easy for us to actually tell who is and who isn't. You know,
Well, because you want to be honest to a fault, right? You
Yes.
know, you treat your neighbor as yourself, or love your neighbor as yourself.
yes,
So, I mean, if you have this going around in your fucking head at all given time, then of course you're susceptible to deception.
Yeah.
The thing of it is everybody's got to be, I don't know, emotionally intelligent to what deception fucking looks like. So,
But they're not, and that's the thing,
No.
because you can only, you have to, even when it comes to religion, there was a study that was done that kids that were raised religious have a harder time discerning a true story versus a fake story.
yeah.
What's the date on that? Why is that? Are you talking about like kids that are like kind of you're 3 years old and you're going to church every day with us, buddy?
No, in general, like kids that were raised religious, I think it was like between 10 and 14, they've spent their entire lives in the church. They had a harder time discerning a true news story versus a fake news story. And I think that's an interesting point of data.
Yeah,
It is because
what
that's where
correlation is.
pedophilia runs rampant quite a bit.
Well,
And
yeah,
it's
like the
excused.
church is
It's
gone.
excused and it's dismissed and it's covered up higher in the church than any other sector in the fucking world.
I was going to say, when you're talking about Epstein and stuff and the cover-ups, I mean, the Catholic Church cover-ups are just as bad.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if for reference, there's a movie called Spotlight. If anybody's ever seen it, and you guys never seen that one? Okay, so it's about exactly that. It's about the Boston Globe and how their expose right after 9/11, they were working on it before 9/11. Then 9/11 happened. They had to table it for a year. But it was their expose that brought light to the Catholic Church that when a priest would get caught, they would put them on administrative leave and then move them to another church around the country. And this had happened.
I remember that.
I think that at the end of the movie they list off how many churches or whatever, and it's literally it's like a 5-minute thing of just listing the different churches that they had records of this happening at, and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of priests and thousands of children. And I don't know if you guys get these, but I get these ads sometimes still from getting ads from these things about the class action lawsuit money if you were ever molested by a priest.
It's a very
They're
weird
still
ad
paying
to
out.
get.
They're still paying out.
So the only time that I've ever gotten those fucking ads is when I was traveling, and I was in an area that had a higher demographic of Catholics. Yeah, so I mean, there's
a lot of Catholics by me. There's a lot of Mexicans, a lot of Catholic churches here.
For the record, I was raised Catholic till about 3rd grade, until I got absolutely sick of it and got, I think it was something like 11 detentions and 2 suspensions in 2 months on purpose. And they just told me not to fucking come back, or they told my parents don't bring him back. The next year I went to public school and got on the honor roll. So yeah, I got tired of going to mass twice a week. Confession is an absolute blasphemy. So yeah, I got plenty of issues I could talk about with the Catholics.
So on the class action lawsuit stuff, so with these Epstein victims and them having access to this victims fund, whatever, if you go through the court documents and you see Jane Doe 1, 3, 5, 20, whatever, the one that made my skin fucking crawl, and we talked about this before the show, and it still genuinely upsets me and infuriates me. Jane Doe 1000. Just let that sit for a second. Jane Doe 1000. That means there's been 1,000 at least women who have came forward in court and told their fucking story about this.
Yep. Yeah, I got all the files here. It's like Sly said, it's a very, very long read. You might as well try to read the Bible in the same amount of time. But yeah, it goes pretty deep in this shit.
It's fucking upsetting, and I can't get over it. I'm fucking, the fact that our government has done some shitty fucking horrible things, but to be complacent in fucking sex trafficking is just fucking the epitome of fucking evil, dude.
Well, let's go back to what we were also talking about with the Crowleyism and all that kind of thing. That's a lot of things that he taught as part of his Satanism was blood, sex, magic, having sex with children in order to gain higher power and things like that. And like this didn't surprise me coming from our government. I mean, if you remember who our government is, Bohemian Grove and all the atrocities they've committed across the world, not only in America.
Look,
Like,
it's not that it surprises me. It's not that it surprises me at all, but it's the fact that, you know, and I said this when the whole Epstein thing came out, when he was still alive and when he was in prison, I said this too. And, you know, now we know where all those missing kids went. Now we know where all the, it's really fucking upsetting, dude. This is fucking ridiculous. And here we are 5 fucking years later with no more information than what we had beforehand.
No. Yeah. And mind you, if you go like Jane Doe 1,000 for 1,000 victims, that still leaves about 290,000 victims to go as far as what's, you know, been stolen.
Period.
From the US.
At fucking least.
And that's if it stopped then.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because the one chick in her affidavit, she was talking about how she wasn't the only one there, how he constantly had women coming and going, constantly had girls coming and going, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 a day. Maxwell herself said that he was insatiable. He had to nut 10 times a fucking day. God, so how many do you think was in that whole fucking deal? I mean, it's unfathomable.
Yeah.
Jesus.
He sounds
since the fucking 80s, bro. Since the fucking 80s.
Like a antichrist of sorts. I mean, that's who I would think that, not the antichrist from Revelation, but a antichrist, because that's exactly what I would picture that person doing.
But it's the funny thing is, though, it's not even like the whole thing was set up to be that from the first place. He got his whole setup from helping drug dealers and gun runners hide their money, and he also had to deal with the whole Oliver North thing, and that's one thing that I think was the start of his relationship with the federal government, was the fact that he helped hide the money for Oliver North.
Yeah, he got in right at the beginning. He started hiding money for the right people, and it kind of gave him that initial immunity, because if you fuck with somebody's money, well, that's a different problem. So now that he's got control of their assets. Yeah, that's a lot of what it was. A lot of it was asset control and the fact that he can move things from various accounts. It wasn't even just accounts in his name. The guy had 50 different accounts with several in his own name and bullshit nonprofits in the victims' names. He had hid money in their accounts and used them for that too. It's the network goes fucking deep, and there's no way we're ever going to get the full scope of it. If this is just the tip of the iceberg, if this is the stuff that they're allowing us to fucking see, oh my fucking God, the implications are fucking insane. Now, do you think when they released these files, did they claim that these are 100% of the files? This is what we got?
No, they said there's more coming.
Okay, so, jeez.
Yeah, I'm literally fucking astounded. Again, if this is what they're allowing us to see, and people like me and autistic go hard and put all the pieces together, again, the implications are fucking insane.
Well, that's what I was mentioning earlier. You know, it said Jane Doe 10 or 1,000, and I think it's like, I was watching that Tebow interview, and it's something like 330. I may have this number wrong. I know it's around 300,000, but 300,000 missing people in the U.S. right now. Like, and you can't say, well, Jeffrey Epstein has 300,000, but you could maybe make a case, depending on the documentation, maybe 10, 20.
Well, did you ever see Sounds of Freedom?
No.
Yeah, you absolutely fucking need to. You absolutely need to. And the funny thing is, in that it's a movie. It's based on the true story. So basically, what he did was he was a CIA, officer, and he was working sex trafficking for children and whatever. But they were only busting the people buying the material, not people making the material. And he got fed up with it. So what he started doing was he started working in Central America and in the islands, and he worked as a client to get into that world, and then eventually he ended up leaving the CIA over it because they weren't doing anything. He teamed up with this trafficker who was trying to save children. He would buy one a year and let them free or whatever, give them 10 grand or whatever he could afford to do. But they set up an operation. They set up and built on an island a hotel, and in each room a child was living, and that's where they stayed. And people would come there, do their deed, and that was it. That's what it was. So in the movie, he saves 24, 30 kids, whatever. But in the true story, he saved thousands.
Yeah, just,
thousands. And they even say he himself, the actual guy himself said that, Epstein, that's a tip of the iceberg. That's one operation, one small operation out of dozens, out of fucking dozens.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the thing is, I mean, do you think these documents, and like I said, I've looked through them a little bit. I don't think they're going to let anything out that implicates anybody else. I think the fact that this information got out about Epstein initially was an accident.
Well, it wasn't an accident. The reason why, and this is in the court documents as well, it was a very prominent thing in Florida because of who he was, and there was a lot of news articles ran about it, and there's emails too from him talking about, hey, so the paper ran the story about me, and this could be a fucking problem eventually. Now, what people don't know is that when he did get convicted of that, he wasn't really in jail for that long. He paid bail, and that was it. He even got his lawyers to work out a sweetheart deal to where he could be out to run his business, and the cops that were with him, he had them dress in plain clothes so it wouldn't draw attention. And some of the officers whistleblowed about that too. How we're getting paid overtime and double time for this, but we're protecting a pedophile? That's fucking weird.
He was on work release to go fuck children.
Literally. Now, in one of the documents that I was reading too, they were talking about how the airplane situation, and they're like, well, there's no way that while they're doing these things on the plane that the pilots don't know. And what the victim had said was, he was like, sometimes they'd have a lot of turnover, sometimes people can't handle it, whatever. But what Jeffrey would tell them is, you close that fucking cockpit door, and if you have to come out, you knock first. Please don't try to come out. Do everything you can to not come out. But if you absolutely have to, you knock first and you wait for me to tell you to come out. Now, if you've got fucking 6-7 teenage girls half naked in here, and obviously they're hanging on them and massaging them and shit, what the fuck else do you think is going to happen?
Well, I don't think they were ever massaging anybody, except for.
No, they were. That's how it started. How it started. It would start with a simple massage, and if you can get through that, they'll call you back and call you back. Gradually, they would see what you're cool with and see whatever. There's varying degrees of it.
So he owns the assets and operated the biggest blackmail ring while happening to be Satanist at the same time.
Basically.
So is this going all the way back to the 80s?
Yes, it does.
This goes back to the 80s, but he didn't start this. I personally don't believe that he started this the St. James Island thing until the 2000s, late 90s, 2000s, because there's also emails of him bitching to his contractor about, hey, I'm not accepting your resignation. You need to finish the work that you quoted me would be done last year. The island needs to be done, and it needs to be done now before Christmas. So with the contractor wanted to resign, but he said, no, you're going to finish the work first.
So do you think all these prominent politicians that were initially implicated, because there's a lot in there, I mean, the only one they wanted to talk about was Trump, but is that, I haven't seen any notion, I mean, maybe I have to look through the court docs and things like that, but I don't think this drop has anything to do with Donald Trump. It has, anything to do with anybody prominent in our government right now.
Well, people keep posting the pictures, and like the one that they show of Trump surrounded by women. Yeah, that's from a beauty pageant from a newspaper. That's not even from the Epstein documents. That's a picture that's been around for years.
They're always taken out of context.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious to me. But then and I was looking for pictures too to kind of put up on the podcast, but there's some on my page that I posted. There's with Epstein hanging out with Michael Jackson. That tracks.
Saw that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah. And that also goes on with the whole Hollywood, grooming pedophilia thing as well.
Well, the funny thing with California too is like that's the only state that you can shoot porn in. And I think that's kind of weird. That's a weird law to have.
Wait,
but
really?
Then
you said California is the only state in America that you're allowed to film.
Yeah, you can't really film porn like studio porn. You can't film porn anywhere else but California.
Well, I mean that place
studio
is
porn
degeneracy incarnate, so it doesn't shock me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I mean,
what's even more disgusting is that Gavin Newsom has the lead in the Democratic polls right now. Not like a Democrat's actually going to win because they're fucking batshit, but like people really.
I don't know, man. That pendulum's going to swing hard left next. I can feel it.
I told you, Nick Fuentes is going to be the next president.
Hey, Nick Fuentes and AOC and Nick Fuentes, 2028.
No, seriously, I think it's going to come down to something like that.
I don't think it's Nick Fuentes now. I think he's not even gonna be old enough. You got to be 40, bro.
So JD Vance will probably be doing that, and he's
JD Vance has already been in. What's his face? Charlie Kirk's wife already endorsed him through Turning Point at their like event the other day. She was like, "Oh yeah, you know, JD Vance 2028," even though he hasn't even said he would run.
There's something going on between her and him. I'm calling it.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. I watched him on Rogan for 2.5 hours, and he doesn't. He seems like your average fucking white boy. He doesn't seem like he's that nefarious to me.
If you get into politics, bro, you're nefarious.
That's how I believe it. That's how I feel. And if you get into that, you know what that entails. That you know what you have to do to advance, and your job is to advance. So,
you learn that shit in your internship.
Yeah,
like you better be good at either sucking dick or kissing ass, man.
Yeah, with those lobbyists running around with all their cash telling you what to do, and then there's a revolving door, lobbyists into politicians, back into lobbyists. Like they will make laws, they will quit their office and go into lobbying. They will get that government to pay towards their lobbying that they created a law for, then re-enter the race in the next term to be elected as a senator or congressman again. It's fucking nuts.
Oh, JD Vance also has like the best backstory, which irritates the fuck out of me.
Well, I mean, he comes from a junkie mom and who still kind of has drug problems, and he's a working man. You know, like
West Virginia,
he's got the good origin story. And like I said, I didn't know a fucking thing about him.
No. When JD Vance was announced, everybody in West Virginia was like, "Woo! Hell yeah! Finally, one of us." And the whole fucking time, I'm like,
why does he paint his eyes? That motherfucker uses eyeliner. Why does he do that? There's something weird about that guy.
He's an emo kid, non-conforming as can be.
Isn't he married?
Certainly learned how to conform.
You'd be non-conforming too if you look just like me.
He married an Indian woman. She's really pretty.
They usually are, but
yeah. What's to say that she wasn't trafficked?
Oh.
I mean, you know, if we want to get into that, I mean, how many of these Jew wives are fucking placed there because they're placed there?
What do you mean?
Look at Trump Jr.'s new wife or whoever the fuck. I mean, come on, guys.
Oh, that's just, I think that's set up marriages. I think that's, all right, you do this and you do this. Now that you're married, you're a power couple that does this together. I think they're just forming oligarchies, kind of.
I mean, it's kind of funny that Erica Kirk all of a sudden is now in the position that she's in with Turning Point. That's kind of odd.
It's not funny at all. It's exactly what happens when your
husband. But I think absolutely she may have had something to do with it. It's just very inconsistent. I mean, if you're the husband, you're the father of your children, got fucking smoked right there in a very, very fucking public way.
Yeah.
You're gonna be cheering and laughing and doing podcasts and going out and traveling and doing all this shit. Bitch, where are the kids?
Yeah, it doesn't match at all. The only thing is I got these thoughts in my head as well, but I don't want to really talk about them until there's something to base it on. Give me
fucking base it, bro. Lay it down, man. Come on.
No, because that's slander at the moment.
I'll fucking say it. I think she has something to do with it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I want to go in that direction too, but they're not even investigating it from that point of view. I doubt the FBI even has a file open for that. Like, you know, that's so deep state shit.
She either had something to do with it, or she was complacent to it.
Who runs the deep state, Pat?
Well, I don't know any names off the top of my head, but I'm guessing because of how you asked that question and the tone you asked that question in, that you already know the answer to this rhetorical question you asked.
I think you know the answer to the question.
I don't know. I've never known. It's just some.
We all know the answer.
We all know the answer to the question.
Yeah.
Ghostly spirits and evil aberrations and maybe kissing the Wailing Wall.
There you go. You're getting close.
You never know. Really.
Close.
You never fucking know.
It starts with kissing the wall.
I mean, Trump's first term.
Cartoon, Inside Job. It's on Netflix.
No.
Oh my fucking god, dude! Sly, you would love that shit. It's literally every conspiracy theory with deep state, Illuminati, everything that.
It's comedy driven?
Conspiratorial porn in cartoon form.
Is it comedy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's huge fucking comedy, and it was made by the same people who did Gravity Falls. And
Oh,
if you ever look into the symbolism that goes into the cartoons of Gravity,
Yeah, I've seen a lot with Gravity Falls.
right? So then you'll watch Inside Job and be like, this came natural to them for a reason.
have you ever seen
Yeah.
Mr. Pickles?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
I've seen a
show is
couple of
disturbing.
episodes thanks to my daughter.
Why is EK here? Hey, EK. What
Yo,
you doing, bro?
what up, buddy?
What's going on? What's going on with y'all?
What are
Beautiful
we?
day in the life of, man.
Say what? We're talking about, at this point, we were talking about the
Jews.
Epstein Files. Now we're talking about Jews and cartoons.
Welcome to the foxhole, man. We talk about Jews a lot here.
That's right. Welcome to the Files. I told you I was gonna come and check y'all out, man. I'm here in the flesh. I'm here in the flesh, man. What cartoon? What's the best one?
To stay it on point with topic, how about looking at the guy that wrote and directed Ren and Stimpy?
My favorite.
Yeah. Have you
I
ever
like
seen the
Ren.
Lost episodes? Pretty degenerate shit.
Don't know if I've
And
seen
then when
the
you
Lost
find out what
episode.
happened to the creator of Ren and Stimpy, pretty degenerate shit. And you know,
What happened to
his
him?
last name?
Yeah, what happened to him?
What happened to him?
Holy fuck, dude! He was given young, aspiring cartoonists, female, promising roles to animate for Ren and Stimpy, and pretty much all he was doing is just pretty much like doing the Weinstein thing. Like
So casting
you want
couch
in?
shit. Go figure.
Open up your booty hole. I'm coming in, and then I'll give you a fucking, and then I'll give you a role on our staff. But that's the reason why you don't see anything from him or Ren and Stimpy anymore. And you can kind of see the. I really encourage everybody to look for the lost episodes of Ren and Stimpy. It gets nasty.
I bet they're on YouTube.
Probably.
You'd be the least fucking surprised, man. I mean, it is.
Well, it's the same reason I bought the South Park DVDs, because of all this shit they had to chop out due to Comedy Central and like the Muhammad episodes and things like that. Like if you buy the old DVDs, they're all on there. But if you buy the new DVDs or watch it on whatever it's on now, I think Paramount.
Yeah.
Paramount. Yeah, it's all redacted and edited and cut.
I could never get into South Park. I could never, no.
It is the funniest. It is the funniest cartoon I've ever watched in my life, and it's probably the most based. Most of my humor, like how I think of humor and things like that, is solely based. I figured this out while watching South Park the other day. It's solely based on how Randy Marsh reacts with society.
So typical white guy.
Well, it's just it's the whole telling people obvious shit all the time, or getting fake mad at shit and stomping on like, that's fine, Sharon. I'll just go.
What's the best line on there? Since you're a huge fan,
that's not really how South Park works. It's there are some lines, but if you don't hear them in context with the rest of the episode, it's like, what?
I'll lay one line out from my favorite episode ever. Well, I did eat a big breakfast.
I don't even know what that is. I don't even know which episode that is.
Randy was sold a bidet, and not just.
I haven't seen the most recent episodes.
No, this isn't recent, man. This is old as fuck, man. But yeah, he got into the whole Japanese toilet thing, and every time somebody went to go use the bathroom in his house, you hear like this new age fucking ambience.
Oh yeah, I saw the clip of that on Facebook like yesterday.
Maybe they knew I was going to be talking about it.
It's possible. It's very possible at this point with how we're spied on.
And we're definitely going to be spied on after tonight's episode.
I don't give a fuck. I'm on a list. You're on a list. Everybody's on a fucking list nowadays.
Exactly. Oh, shit, man.
Eric, just by coming on here, you are on a list. So.
Yeah, now that you've been on the podcast, on the foxhole, man, you're not going to get watched by the feds.
So they tapping my phone now, man.
Well, not exactly, but they will be storing your text messages and watching you on Facebook.
Man, there goes my.
You got access to your camera, so make sure they have a really good view of your fucking tank, man.
Yeah, I wish I had a button to like reveal who he is right now.
Well,
like drop the veil.
There goes my credit score. There goes my credit score.
You don't stop playing. You didn't have a credit score in the first place. Shut up.
Oh man, what you talking about, man? So racist right there. So racist.
Yeah.
I got a
Eric's
great
the one that
credit
should have been on
score.
the debate.
I got a
Evan in
great
trouble.
credit score. What you talking about, man?
What is it? What's your credit score? What's your credit score?
Mine's 0.
For real, mine's a 700.
Man,
I
fuck
agree.
you.
I had a good one for a while after paying off a couple cars and shit.
Hey
like
man,
that.
listen.
I
man,
didn't
don't
have
hate
a
me because
credit
I'm
score.
beautiful. Don't
I didn't
hate
have
me
a credit
because
score
I'm
until this
beautiful.
year.
Oh,
And he's still
yeah.
using his neighbor's Wi-Fi.
I'm 33 and I didn't have a credit score until this year. I got a
Man.
570.
Listen, I'm 46, man. So you still got time. Trust me, man. It took me a while to get my shit together too, man. Trust me, man. I was doing some dumb
the
shit.
Earth right now with these solar flares and the currents and the tectonic plates moving. And it could get a little jumbly real quick right now.
Oh shit. Well, we better watch out for that then. Hopefully, huh?
Well, I mean, if there's any time to tank your credit score and max out your Amex, it's fucking now.
Yep.
Fuck yeah. I ain't paying that shit.
No.
Yeah, it's gonna collapse soon anyway. So
No,
That's why, like, I laugh.
4 credit cards within the last year and a half, mainly because I had shoulder surgery and I couldn't fucking work. But yeah, now it's like, well, your debt has been, swapped hands. We now have your debt. Contact us today and we'll work something out. And I'm like, no, the fuck we won't.
Yeah, so legally, once they transfer your debt, you're no longer legally obligated to pay it.
no, you're not under contract with the original lender.
Yeah.
Yep. They can eat your nuts.
I'm waiting for it to switch hands maybe 1 or 2 more times. And then I'm going to start playing ball.
This literally happened to me with the Snap-on truck after I had to quit being a mechanic because of my injuries. I called a Snap-on dealer that I knew because this guy just left, and I was like, dude, I owe this guy like $700 for a fucking impact and a cart. He's like, that's not my debt, that's his debt. If you can't find him, that shit's it's over.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Right,
my favorite default has been the finger hut default. Yeah.
Let me ask you, EK, since you're here, we'll get your opinion.
Oh shit. Here we go.
Who runs the fucking world, man? Who do you think operates all this shit? Who do you think is pulling the fucking strings around this bitch?
Girls, who runs the world? Girl, no, I just man, who do you think? I don't know. I'm curious to know what you think, man.
Oh no, you ain't getting away that easy.
Yeah, you gotta come up with something, man.
I don't have the answer. I don't have the answer. I really don't, because I mean, at first we thought it was the elite, right?
Yeah,
it still might be. It still
Who
might
are the
be.
elite?
Hey man, listen, man. Hey, I don't want to be on the list.
You were already on the list.
Nah.
That
I
was
don't
your
want to
decision to be on the list.
Nah. I know how to keep my mouth quiet, man. Just like some of these entertainers and rappers, man.
No. Part of being on the foxhole, you gotta speak your mind, man. This is free speech in this motherfucker.
I don't know, man. To be honest with you, I truly don't know, man. I mean, I can guess. Yeah. I'm gonna say the elite, but that's as far as I'm gonna go. That's as far as I'm gonna go, man.
Like the elite, like the rich people, like the Jews, like the fucking
yes. Yeah. Hey, listen. You know they got their special clubs and stuff, man, where they hide out and they bunkers and sip their wine, and they be like, oh well, let's tackle this area. Let's tackle this area. Let's do this. Let's corrupt the world. Let's do this.
So let's say go ahead.
So, different from some people, you don't actually see this as a race issue at all. This is a people versus the elite issue.
Yes, I do.
See, that's where a lot of people, I think, get tripped up. I'm glad we brought this point up, because there's a lot of people that still think this is a race issue and you need to fight for your race. If there's a war breakout, you need to stick to your race. And I keep saying, like, that is the exact opposite of what's going to get us through this shit.
I agree.
I agree.
I agree. It's a condition. That's what they want you to condition to be. That's why, because if we're all separate, it helps them more conquer us. You know what I'm saying? Even though one side may think, oh, we can do it by ourselves, but realistically, if we don't do it together, man, we all in the shithole. That's
Yeah,
just,
and you'll
that's
get
just
and you'll get let
doctrine.
off real quick. Let's say your point of the population is 15%, or your point of the population is 20%, versus the 80% of the population that decided to team up together. You're not going to make it. You know.
Let's
That is
change
true.
the perspective of a thing that we've all heard. United we stand, divided we fall.
Well, I know exactly what that means, and I don't think people do understand what that means. It
Well,
means
what
you're
do it
supposed
mean then? What
to be
do
united.
it really?
United we
The only time
stand,
you leave being united is
divided
when
we
you
fall.
die. You fall along the fight. You don't divide while you're fighting. You stick with the fight until the end. And if you fall divided, which means you fall away from your group. But there's
Yeah.
no division.
Now let's look at it this way: divided we fall would be the artificial conflict, the manufactured bullshit that everybody's fucking spoon fed that keeps us divided. Divided we fall.
Yeah. There's two. I think there's two meanings to that. Yeah. If you divide,
Yeah.
like you said, divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. It's art of war type shit. It's simple. Basic. If you want to destabilize a population, you want to get them mad at themselves, not you.
Well, it's not even the fact that it doesn't even need to be a foreign power that does it. We've been doing it ourselves for 40 fucking years with left versus right, Democrat, Republican.
Longer than that too, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're not wrong.
And I think once and this is where I get a lot of shit from my people, from like the right wing extremist side of things. I get called a globalist a lot because like I see the further side of things. I don't think that things are going to get better with things being as divisive as they are. I think once we outdo or outgrow the need for religion and the need for not borders per se, but like once we start realizing that we are a planet, this isn't just, you're American, these are Mexicans, these are Canadians. This is a fucking planet. We're humans. We are one goddamn species. There's other species out there that are worse than us that we need to team up against eventually.
Yeah, like wolverines and honey badgers.
Fucking goddamn reptiles.
Grizzly bears.
Goddamn reptiles around this motherfucker, shapeshifting and shit.
The grizzly bears, huh?
Yeah, he's talking about like the reptilian idea that there's a lot of people out there that aren't really people, and there is
They're
some
fucking
evidence.
not, dude.
Well, here's the problem with the evidence nowadays: is we've entered
Hey,
this
hold on, P. I don't even mean to cut you off. So I don't know if y'all seen that game, and did y'all see Rodney Harrison? Is that the type of AI glitching that y'all be talking about?
You'd have to show me the clip. What I'm talking about necessarily is like you can see their eyes flicker. You can see them get slitted eyes and things like that. You can see some skin doing some weird stuff on their face.
Wearing skin suits.
Right, but
I've seen Katy Perry. I've seen Katy Perry do it.
Yep,
yes.
She's an example. She's an example.
I've seen her do it.
But we're getting really close to the time where you have to approach all video and all image information that it's false first, and then work your way back to see if it's true. Because how AI is taken over the media industry, you really can't assume that anything you watch or anything you see is real anymore. You kind of have to start from the other direction and go backwards. Okay,
that's what the reptiles want you to think.
Oh, fuck the reptiles! I'll fuck a reptile up. It's just like Mortal Kombat.
So what you saying? What you saying? Aliens do exist, huh? Is that what
absolutely. And if we're gonna get into that, they not only exist, but they have a deciding factor. They have a deciding factor on what happens on this fucking planet. They've been here since before us. But I firmly believe since the 50s that we've had a standing deal. Our government's had a standing deal with these people.
What you mean? What you mean standing
deal? We did like an hour and a half show on this too.
Oh man.
Well, I mean, I think they've had a standing deal. Like they came here after we advanced enough to split the atom, and once we started nuclear testing, we were a beacon. We were a beacon to the universe. Hey, there's something going on over here. These guys figured out how to split the atom. Maybe they should go check on them. It's also a South Park episode, but still, the principle remains that once we did that, we started seeing UFOs everywhere.
That was the one where Randy put the little crystal in the back of his car, the little wooden car that Stan had to make.
Yeah. But I mean, and once they came here, they made a deal with our government. We made the deal that they can come here for research and do what they need to do, and they would give us technology. They wouldn't give us weapons, but they would give us technology, which is why after World War II, directly after World War II, into the 50s and 60s, we have this drastic change in technology.
So Sly is
So
he's not saying one big part of his theory, which is that they also go in the woods and they're allowed to eat people.
Yeah, that's the second
what?
part.
Wait. So how they communicate with each other?
Well, they make deals where they would come make contact and they would make a plan, and they would there's a handbook as well that was declassified and leaked as well.
Project Blue Book.
Yeah,
Not to
Project Blue
mention
Book
the thousands
and
of miles of tunnels underneath the U.S.
yeah, these tunnels. They got the oceans. They've got their own places that have been here long before we've been here. So when and when you get to the alien subject, you know, there's beings that have been here on this earth longer than we have, and they're the original inhabitants. So some of these things that we see aren't even aliens. They're the original Earthlings.
And see, I'd be more akin to go with that theory than alien. I'd be more akin to go with, okay, this is a previous civilization that was otherwise unknown. And then, you know, every once in a while we catch a glimpse or something like that, but it's shoved under the rug so fast that nobody cares. And then you got, I think what actually hurt the idea for the reptilian initially was David Icke. Because yeah, okay. Enough said. Fucking David Icke. Like he was the representative for lizard people, and that just didn't help.
Yeah. But at the same time, I mean, you know, with all the ancient stories and the lore that we have and the cave drawings of fucking reptile people and shit, I mean, you can't discredit it. You fucking can't. And if you talk about I'll humor you and I'll go to the Christian side of it when you talk about the serpent and all that shit. Like
that was Satan.
I mean, same fucking thing. It's a metaphor.
Why not erase it? So why not erase it from history? They erase other history, so why not erase that? So people won't know.
I mean,
the serpents gave them knowledge, and that was kind of the thing. The reptilians are based in knowledge. They taught the people in the Americas how to survive each apocalypse and taught them how to thrive in it and afterwards and rebuild society.
Mind you, listeners, if you're listening, this is a theory.
It's more than a theory.
This is a theory. It's an interesting theory, but a theory nonetheless. Some would call it a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, because we don't want to be on the list.
No, we're already on the list.
I'm already there. I'm already on the list.
Don't worry about the
Yeah, no. I got a mailbox outside of a list. Like
yeah,
that's fine.
I live there.
Yeah,
we're good with it.
About that shit anymore.
But going back to the whole 1950s thing with Eisenhower.
Man, I'm trying to get out of debt, man. Y'all trying to put me back in there.
Right. No, I mean, that's a good point to make. I mean, you can figure out all the answers to everything right now, tonight, you know, and it's not going to change a fucking thing. You still got to pay your taxes. The dishes are still laying in your fucking sink. Yep. And you got to switch your laundry over to the washer or to the dryer, whichever. You still got to fucking go on about your goddamn daily. But going back to the whole like Eisenhower thing, supposedly he was addressed by two different species, and one of them said that if you disarm yourself nuclearly with nuclear weapons, whatever I'm trying to say, we'll give you technology that will benefit your world and society beyond your wildest beliefs. You just have to lay down your nuclear weapons. And the other one was like,
"This is America.
Like weapons? You like shit that goes fucking boom?
Mm-hmm.
Let us take some of your fucking people. Let us do experiments on the human race, you know, with your consent, and we'll trade you technology." And because we were fresh out of World War fucking II, the Cold War is starting to fucking kick up. We're like, you know what? Fuck yeah. What about them weapons, big guy? Let's see what you got. Yeah, you can go ahead and take some people out of Oklahoma, you know, rural California.
So what were the results? Where are those weapons? Like, are you talking about the railgun and plasma cannons? And
well, yeah, and not just that, but it's also the chips.
Weapons. It was just, you know, technology in general. But
yeah, I mean,
most of it did come to some sort of head where it was weapons, like fiber optics.
So if they got all this power and they can give us all this technology, how did we still have to fake the moon landing? That seems.
We didn't have to fake the moon landing, though. That's the thing. The reason why you have footage that is very blatantly not really on the moon, why it's garbage. The reason why is because we couldn't fail.
I understand.
could not fail.
I know
right?
exactly what you're talking about. They did it just in case. I understand.
Just in case. And
That's
some of
the
that
only
fake
shit they
footage
show.
is in there with the
No, it's
real
all
footage.
fake.
No,
It's
some
all
of that
fucking
real
fake.
footage is in there too.
It's all fucking fake.
But
So what's real? What part of it was
None
real?
of it.
Then?
the part was
Filmed in
real.
England.
They literally took a golden olive branch with them. They performed a ceremony that was a Masonic ritual before landing and before taking off.
Yeah, but it wasn't a
It was the
stage.
33rd lap. The third they called it the 33rd landing pad, the 33rd degree masonry for the highest level of masonry. There's so much that went with it. They didn't go there to just have fun and we went to the moon, whatever. If you watch their interview when they came back from the moon, these guys looked like they were about to be sick. And they're looking down, they're looking at their hands, they're full of anxiety. And one of them, not Buzz Aldrin, I think it was Neil himself, had said, he's like, well, we've entered the dawn of a new age. And he kind of just like brushes it off, doesn't look at the camera and whatever. And these guys literally, they went up there, and Buzz Aldrin will tell anybody who will listen to him that they went up there and met the fucking moon men.
Well, this is all, if you want to talk about things also about disinformation and conspiracies, this is the ultimate one, in my opinion, because we had to prove to Russia at that time that we were more capable of them of launching a possible ICBM into space and back. And this was our, thing to say.
But we also have the radio proof of them talking about the craft that was following them, the craft that were watching them on the ridge on the other side of the fucking crater that they were standing in. You've got all kinds of audio footage of that as well.
We're not the only country that has that either.
No, we're not the only country that has that.
You know what this remind me of? It reminds me of that Transformer movie when they found out that they had Transformers hiding on the other side of the moon.
Dark side of the moon, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, why do you think that in that century or in that 2-decade period from 1969 to 1980, we made several trips to the moon, but we never went back since. And nobody ever talks about what we did when we were up there. Now, if you look at some of the old photos, from Russia, from the Russian spacecrafts and from the China spacecrafts early on, they show structures. There's spires that are 300, 400 feet high. There's oblong structures. There's octagonal structures on the fucking moon. One of them is even almost a pyramid shape. And you can see where some of the glass is broken, indicating that it's an old structure.
Wait a minute.
These were old pictures, by the way.
This is from like the 70s, dude. Like, yeah, these are orbital pictures from the moon.
Wow.
It's ridiculous.
This was being circulated on the internet pretty heavily around the MySpace era. So,
yeah.
Surely to fuck, I mean, our government already had the technology and the know-how and the will to fucking manipulate information that's being leaked out all over this fucking thing. But
those are also
it was before AI became like this suspicious thing.
But
right?
to be fair, too, like a couple years ago, because me and Sly have been talking about this for a long, long time. I went into Photoshop and took a moon, and I took a gear off something and embedded it in the photo, and I did all this nice stuff. I fooled quite a few many people into thinking that there was some massive gear that was stuck in the side of the moon. Like, this is why I always have to play devil's advocate, because you're saying you trust the government on this fact.
I didn't say I trust the government
at all.
I didn't. The government are the people that released this. This is just footage that we have that researchers have found. This isn't the government saying, "Hey, there's spires here. Hey, there's an octagonal structure in this one." No, they just released the pictures.
Trust the government to actually even release non-doctored pics. That's my point.
Well, some of them aren't. They didn't have a choice, because some of them are just the negatives that were found after the fact.
And I'm looking at some of those.
You can't edit a negative. Yeah, and you can't edit a negative. So I mean, you get to a certain point where there's no denying that this evidence is real and it exists.
Do you know when these pictures, like the Russian stuff and the China stuff, were put out?
70s.
Yeah, 70s. So they
were initially launched.
Yeah.
You don't think you can doctor a negative?
You can't doctor a negative.
You can doctor.
Yes, you can.
But there's obvious fucking markers.
Yeah, not like this.
But y'all just said AI. You can't really tell what's real and what's fake because of AI.
I think what his point is since these were released in the 70s and people saw them back in the 70s, we didn't have this computational power back then. So if you didn't have the ability to, doctor these things with computers, you had to do it by hand, which is still.
But
possible.
why would you doctor these things in instead of doctoring them out?
So we'd be talking about
if you were the government and you're going to doctor these things out, that's what you would do. And these pictures, these ones that I'm talking about, aren't even American. They're from Russia. They were snuffed out of Russia. Yeah, I trust Russians more than our own government. Yeah, I trust the Russian government and the stuff that people leaked from them way more than I trust the stuff that leaked from us.
I don't trust them.
Why you say that?
Because they defected. Because they fucking defected. Their entire country is not like ours. Their entire country is for the good of Russia. Every single individual person is raised from the time they're a baby to the time they die. That their entire life is for the good of Russia.
So you agree with forced nationalism?
So if they were to defect, I'm going to trust their opinion because they are going against everything they were raised on to bring this information to light. So yeah, I'm going to trust a Russian defector with the negatives from their space program more than I'm going to trust an American defector.
You have a lot of trust, my friend.
Not only that, I mean, you still have. Okay, so what would be the difference between, say, Bob Lazar from here and say the Russian version of Bob Lazar?
That's a great question.
There is no difference. Those are the same kind of people. But Bob Lazar, we can also say, isn't with our government because they went through such extreme lengths to discredit him, and they still raid him every so often.
So would you say the same about Avi Loeb?
I would say the same about Avi Loeb. It's not necessarily that I don't trust him, but he proved his theory correct, in which he followed a meteor that entered our solar system to the ocean and found what he was looking for. He did the math and found it. They got boats and dredged it and found these little metallic spheres of metal that isn't from our fucking galaxy.
Oh,
he was right the first time.
Speaking of things flying by our planet, tonight and tomorrow will be the closest that 3i Atlas gets to our atmosphere. So
yeah, until it lands on the White House lawn.
Yeah, fuck all that. Anyway, it's not an alien. It's a fucking comet. But it's going to pass by because it's a comet.
Fingers fucking crossed, man.
But
I don't care. If it wants to crash into the atmosphere, that's great too.
But it's also made of something that isn't from here. It's heavier and denser, and it's not showing any of the properties that it should be.
Well, no,
it's changing its speeds. It's going faster and slower. I mean, that's not something a normal comet does.
Well, no, but it came from outside our asteroid belt, so it had to come through there.
Maybe that's the aliens.
Rock. Well, that's the argument.
I think it's a ship, and then it went through in a parabolic orbit through every planet in our solar system. It doesn't. That just doesn't happen.
Yeah, it didn't show any signs of getting captured or even remotely interacting with any other gravitational force.
It would slow down a little bit, and then it would speed up.
Yeah.
Maybe it farted a couple times and it kind of launched it a little bit faster. And, that's what they were talking about with the speed ups is the ice and the things like that turning into
but to the fact that we've never seen any other comet done that ever.
And this is the first one. Got to be a first time for everything.
Yeah, no, that's wishful thinking.
Got to be a first.
And what is it? It stays in blue phase lighting, which means it's getting closer.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's odd.
I hope if it gets within shooting distance that one of our telescopes can actually take a real detailed image.
Well, you should. They said that if somebody at home that has a decent telescope should be able to see it. So I mean, if they don't give us better images of it, I'm gonna be pissed.
Well, I've seen
there's a
well, you ain't getting it. You on the list, man. You on the list. They don't want you.
What I was saying is I saw a couple videos with people with home telescopes. It's still just a blue ball or a white ball. That's all they get to see. I mean, you need something like the Hubble or the James Webb to actually take a picture of it, quote unquote.
James Webb, I should be able to see through that motherfucker.
It should.
I want to see that bitch in 8 spectrums.
Count the nose hairs of whoever's piloting that fucking.
You know what I'm saying? Come on now.
But either way, if it's going to enter Earth's atmosphere and land on the White House lawn and people get out and things like that, if that happens, it's going to happen in the next few days. Otherwise, it's on its path out of here. So we'll see. That's what's going to be telling for me, too, is supposedly tonight when it passes by, it's supposed to be on its path out of here. Now, if I see that bitch do a U-turn and come right back.
No, you won't see it do a U-turn. It's just a drone. And then in another month, we'll see the Armada come.
Big-ass drone.
Right.
It's like a 5 mile or a 3.5 mile wide drone.
Yeah, well, it'll be like Independence Day. We'll see the mothership and everything coming after that.
That's just mothership. It's like 3.5 miles.
Space is big, dude. 3.5
miles. Yeah, space is big. Shit. That ain't shit. Yeah. Them
Yeah,
ships
see.
from Independence Day were like 30, 50 miles each.
Oh, they weren't.
Yeah, they were.
25 feet.
Yeah, y'all make me think the clouds now are spaceships just hiding amongst them.
Sometimes they are. Sometimes they are.
Really?
Sometimes
Yeah,
they
Yeah,
go
man.
under
That
water.
shit. These motherfuckers cloak, man. Sometimes they are. Sometimes they're infrared. Sometimes you can only see them in infrared. That's the wild part.
And another problem is the waters have been increasingly muddied by the amount of people using drones to fuck with people. Because it looks like 8, 9 out of 10 quote unquote alien vids I see on YouTube can be easily explained away with drones with lights on them or helicopters with flashers on them, and they're just through the mist. You can't tell it's a helicopter or something like that.
Yeah, anything with like blinking red or green lights or FAA. If it's got FAA lights, it's definitely not, anything to worry about. Like there's a video I saw that was from some neighborhood in fucking California, and everybody's the UFOs, the UFOs. It was a fucking street light.
I saw that one.
Street.
Yeah, it looked like it was over the top of a mountain.
Yeah. Oh my
it was
god,
so
that shit
bad.
was ridiculous.
But that's where the state of the intelligence is for the American people, that you can fool them that easy.
Well, I think that whole drone thing in New Jersey last fall, I think that was a modern day H.G. Wells thing, because you had people saying all these things about, they're the size of SUVs and they're up there for hours. And it's like, okay, but nobody's produced any footage of any of this. This is the 21st century. Everybody and their mother has a cell phone. If I'm not seeing the footage of the things you're saying these things are doing, it didn't fucking happen.
Well, and the funny thing about that H.G. Wells is when the H.G. Wells War of the Worlds came out, it wasn't on TV, it was on radio. So
I know, and I listen to it every year for Halloween. I know.
Right? No, I'm not trying to explain to you what it is. I'm saying back then it was on radio, so you just listened and trusted that it was what it was. Nowadays, you have a lot more tools at your disposal to be able to sort these things out. When people put out videos,
the fact that you
just don't bother.
They don't, and the fact that you had all these people, even on Joe Rogan, he'd have people on. Oh, what about what do you think about the drones in New Jersey? It's like, dude, you're a fucking idiot. And I don't think he's the smartest person in the world. And he himself just said he has a good memory, and it seems like he's smart. And I get that, but like, come the fuck on. With no video evidence in the 21st century, that was bullshit. All of that was a psyop. All of that was just to get people scared and get people fucking concerned.
Do we need to do a second show on aliens?
We'll do a second show on aliens. I don't give a fuck.
I think so. Because this is getting a little bit more interesting at the hour and 30-minute mark.
Well, I got a question though, real quick, if I may.
You may.
Speaking of video evidence, the whole like Miami Mall.
Oh God!
Don't get me started, dude.
Come on, no, let's have it.
Oh shit!
That and when the one where they're like, oh, the UFO landed in our backyard, and there's the aliens here, and the other one in California.
Yep, I saw that one.
Like all of that happened at a point in time when the UFO situation was being taken very seriously, and all of that I think was just Operation Mockingbird, just to shit on the whole situation, to discredit the whole thing altogether. We've had soft disclosure since 2019, 2020. We've had soft disclosure. They've admitted already that these things exist, and they quote unquote don't know where they come from.
And we still have Project Bluebeam, so I think things could fall under that.
The alien movie that I've ever watched in my entire life was based off of a true story, and it's from the late '80s called Fire in the Sky.
Yeah, that's the scariest one out of all of them.
There was another one that was really good that was done in the last couple of years. Something kind or something. It showed. I don't know.
You're talking about the fourth kind. He's talking about the fourth.
Is that the one with Mila Jovovich?
It's the one in Alaska, and that actually was all bullshit. That one was actually.
I just thought the movie was good. Like it was. Scary.
Yeah, the movie was good, but it was actually all bullshit. It wasn't based on anything.
No, I know that, but that wasn't even the one I was talking about. The one I was talking about was this movie. Maybe you guys have seen it, where it's just a family in a house, and they're getting fucked with by the aliens, and they're finding like the 3 dots on their neck for the implants, and they go to some guy to talk about the implants, and the aliens like try to invade their house to take their son. Like that's all they want.
No. Signal. Was it Signal?
Possibly.
I know.
I'll have to look it up. I'll have to look it up after the show.
Was Mel Gibson in it?
No.
That's Mel Gibson. That's Signs.
Oh, Signs, not Signal. Yeah, thank you. All right, fair enough.
All right, we calling it, boys?
I think we are going to call it for
might as well.
I think next week is Christmas, but Friday is not Christmas, so we will.
Friday is not Christmas. We will be here.
Yes, we will. next week we will formulate a topic. It may be aliens, it may be something else, but I am speaking for Sly Fox and Uncle Mike here. I think we had a very good discussion tonight. Is there any shout outs that you guys would like to make before we close up tonight?
Yeah, Nose Bros. It's always the Nose Bros. She said she would join in. Shout out Home Slice.
And shout out to Big D.
Yeah, Big D always in this motherfucker.
Yep.
All the Boogaloo boys. Long live the fucking igloo.
That too.
Yeah, one brick at a time, man.
That's right. All right. This is Pat. We are signing off for the Foxhole tonight. I hope you gentlemen had a good time, and we will see you next week at 10 p.m. Out.